Katy Perry appeared on The View in what was supposed to be a routine interview promoting her latest project. At first, the conversation started light, with the usual pleasantries and rehearsed talking points. Fans expected a standard celebrity appearance, with smiles, laughs, and brief anecdotes. However, as soon as the discussion shifted toward more controversial topics, a noticeable tension filled the studio. Perry's energy changed subtly, signaling that this interview was about to take a different turn. Sunny Hostin, known for her direct approach, began asking pointed questions about Perry's recent public statements and social media controversies. While her tone remained professional, the content of the questions was sharp and unapologetically probing. Perry, initially polite, began to tighten her jaw and shift her posture, subtle signs of frustration. The audience could feel the air shift, as it became evident that this would not be a typical morning talk show exchange. The first spark came when Hostin referenced Perry's past remarks on sensitive topics, framing them in a way that suggested accountability was overdue. Perry paused, taking a measured breath, before responding cautiously. Her initial attempt to maintain composure was clear, but the tension was palpable. Every word seemed deliberate, as if she were weighing each response to avoid escalating the conversation further. Hostin persisted, referencing fan reactions and public criticism. Perry's polite smile began to fade, replaced by a more intense expression. The dynamic shifted from light-hearted promotion to a confrontation of ideas and personal choices. Viewers at home immediately sensed the clash, as social media buzzed in real time, with fans predicting that Perry might explode under the pressure. Perry's response, when it came, was measured but firm. She highlighted her personal perspective, emphasizing that public perception does not always reflect intent. Her words were calm but carried a clear edge, signaling that she would not be pushed into a defensive corner. The tension in the room escalated, but Perry managed to maintain a balance between expressing frustration and staying composed on live television. Hostin's follow-up was sharper, pressing for clarity on statements Perry had made during previous interviews. While still professional, the question was direct enough to provoke a reaction. Perry's eyes narrowed slightly, a subtle but unmistakable signal of irritation. The audience could feel the live energy intensifying, as the segment transformed into a moment of palpable confrontation. Perry then leaned forward slightly, her voice gaining firmness as she addressed the issue. She clarified her position while simultaneously challenging the framing of Hostin's questions. The exchange became less about promoting a project and more about defending personal credibility. Fans watching at home immediately commented on the intensity of Perry's delivery, noting how rare it was to see such a high-profile artist visibly assert boundaries on live TV. Hostin, recognizing the shift, attempted to pivot the conversation to lighter topics, hoping to ease the tension. Perry, however, was not ready to disengage. Her energy suggested that she wanted the public to understand her perspective fully, without interruption or redirection. This set the stage for what many described as an eruption, a rare public moment where Perry's frustration broke through her usual controlled persona. The studio audience, initially applauding polite banter, fell silent as the exchange intensified. Every word was weighed carefully by both women. Perry's tone remained calm but carried unmistakable authority, signaling she would not be swayed by pressure. The moment was subtle yet electrifying, capturing the attention of viewers nationwide and generating immediate social media chatter. Fans of Perry immediately rallied online, praising her composure under pressure. Many noted that celebrities are often forced to answer repetitive or sensationalized questions, and Perry's decision to confront the framing directly was admirable. Supporters argued that her firm responses demonstrated both strength and intelligence, highlighting a side of the pop star rarely seen in public. Critics, however, interpreted the eruption differently. Some argued that Perry's responses were defensive and risked alienating portions of the audience. They suggested that while she had the right to assert boundaries, the intensity of her delivery made the segment feel confrontational rather than informative. This divergence in audience perception fueled widespread debate online. Perry's intensity escalated when Hostin pressed further on specific statements. Her voice sharpened slightly, emphasizing her frustration with repeated misinterpretations of her comments. The moment became a teachable example for live television dynamics. how quickly an interview can shift from promotion to personal defense when sensitive topics arise. Social media exploded as clips of the exchange circulated. Fans and critics alike dissected every gesture, pause, and emphasis. Memes and reaction videos emerged, highlighting the eruption moment. The segment became trending content within minutes, demonstrating the viral nature of emotionally charged celebrity interviews in the digital age. Media analysts began discussing Perry's strategic approach. Rather than losing control, she used measured intensity to assert authority. Experts noted that this style prevented the conversation from descending into chaos while clearly establishing her boundaries. In a landscape dominated by viral sound bites, Perry's calculated eruption struck a balance between confrontation and composure. Hostin attempted to redirect the game, bringing the conversation back to Perry's musical achievements. Perry, however, subtly refused to ignore the underlying tension. Her eyes and voice communicated a refusal to move past issues until her perspective was fully understood. This refusal added layers to the exchange, making it memorable beyond mere promotional content. As the discussion continued, the dynamic between the two women became increasingly complex. Perry's passion for expressing her truth clashed with Hostin's commitment to journalistic rigor. Neither backed down entirely, resulting in a tense equilibrium where both voices were heard, but the energy remained charged. Observers noted that this was a rare instance where a celebrity confronted perceived misrepresentation directly on live television. Perry did not shout or attack personally. Instead, she articulated her frustration with precision, ensuring the audience understood her point while still maintaining a level of professionalism. The intensity of the exchange also revealed a cultural conversation about celebrity vulnerability. Perry's willingness to address sensitive questions head-on sparked discussions about how stars navigate scrutiny in an age of constant public commentary. Fans debated whether such eruptions should be celebrated as empowerment or critiqued as defensiveness. As the interview progressed, Perry's emotional energy became increasingly apparent. While her words were controlled, the passion behind them was undeniable. Viewers could sense a mixture of frustration, determination, and a desire for fairness in how her public image was discussed, creating a complex emotional resonance. Hostin, remaining professional, continued probing but softened her tone. The mutual respect between the two was evident even in moments of tension. Both women demonstrated that confrontation does not necessarily require aggression, and that disagreement can coexist with professionalism on live television. Social media commentary exploded with analyses, with hashtags related to the clash trending within hours. Fans dissected body language, tone, and word choice. The segment became a case study in how quickly live interviews can shift and how celebrity responses can dominate online discourse. Entertainment journalists weighed in, noting that Perry's controlled eruption reflected a deep understanding of media dynamics. She was able to push back against framing she found unfair without allowing emotions to spill into chaos. This balance between assertiveness and composure became a talking point in professional media circles. Fans began sharing personal reactions, praising Perry for setting boundaries in a highly public environment. Many compared her approach favorably to other celebrity confrontations, noting that she had maintained credibility and authority while also conveying genuine emotion. Critics remained divided. Some felt the eruption overshadowed the intended purpose of the interview, which was to promote Perry's work. Others argued that moments of tension are often more memorable and impactful than scripted promotion, creating a deeper connection with viewers. Analysts also examined how the eruption reflected broader societal conversations about women in the media. Perry's assertiveness challenged traditional expectations of compliance or placidity, making the exchange a notable cultural moment beyond entertainment news. Throughout the segment, the studio's atmosphere remained taut, with Perry and Hostin both navigating the delicate balance of confrontation and civility. The audience witnessed a rare live negotiation of public perception, authority, and emotion in a high-profile setting. By the final moments, Perry had asserted her perspective clearly. While the tension remained, the interview concluded without escalation. The controlled intensity left a lasting impression, as viewers reflected on both the content and the dynamics between the participants. In the aftermath, clips of the eruption dominated social media and news commentary. Analysts, fans, and critics continued to debate the implications, examining how Perry's approach might influence future celebrity interviews and interactions with the media. Many observers concluded that the eruption was as much about personal boundaries as it was about media perception. Perry's controlled assertiveness became a model for managing live confrontations without compromising professionalism, resonating with both fans and industry insiders. Ultimately, the interview's impact lay in its intensity and authenticity. Katy Perry's eruption on The View became a cultural talking point, demonstrating the power of asserting one's voice on live television. The clash with Sunny Hostin would be remembered as a defining moment, highlighting the complexities of celebrity media dynamics in the modern era. After the interview aired, the segment quickly became a viral topic online. Fans clipped the most intense moments, highlighting Perry's controlled but unmistakable frustration. Every pause, inflection, and glance was analyzed frame by frame. Social media buzz turned the exchange into a trending topic, and news outlets began reporting on the eruption within hours, amplifying its reach far beyond the original broadcast. Analysts noted that the timing of Perry's eruption was key. By waiting to respond until she had fully processed the question, she maximized the impact of her words. This deliberate pacing showcased media savvy, turning what could have been a defensive reaction into a compelling moment of assertive communication. The public's reaction was polarized. Some viewers praised Perry for her transparency and courage, emphasizing the importance of standing up to probing questions without losing composure. Others criticized her for allowing emotions to surface, arguing that it distracted from the content she had come to promote. The debate fueled further discussion across multiple platforms. Media experts highlighted the dynamic between Perry and Hostin as an example of modern celebrity interviews. Rather than a simple Q&A, the segment became a negotiation of narrative control, with each party carefully asserting their perspective. This delicate balance between inquiry and boundary setting was part of what made the exchange so compelling to watch. Viewers were particularly captivated by Perry's ability to maintain professionalism while clearly expressing frustration. Her words were precise, her tone measured, and her body language controlled. Even in moments of high emotion, she did not lose composure, providing a blueprint for managing live interactions under pressure. Hostin's approach also drew attention. While her questions were direct, her professionalism and subtle efforts to de-escalate the tension were noted. The interplay between Perry's assertiveness and Hostin's tact highlighted the complexity of live television interviews, where both interviewer and guest must navigate unpredictable moments simultaneously. Clips of the segment began circulating on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, with viewers creating commentary, reaction videos, and analysis breakdowns. The eruption moment was replayed repeatedly, often edited for dramatic effect, which further amplified its viral nature and expanded its cultural footprint. Critics of the exchange emphasized that celebrity interviews are often constructed for maximum engagement, noting that tension can be intentionally amplified by editing or framing. Regardless of intent, Perry's response remained authentic and measured, which made it stand out in a media landscape often dominated by performative reactions. The interview also sparked discussions about gender dynamics in media. Many observers pointed out that female celebrities are often expected to remain polite and compliant during confrontations, making Perry's assertive response noteworthy. It became a conversation about agency, voice, and respect in public discourse. Fans dissected the body language and micro-expressions throughout the segment. From Perry's subtle gestures to Hostin's pacing, every detail was scrutinized, revealing the layers of tension that words alone could not convey. This close analysis further fueled the segment's longevity in online conversation. Entertainment commentators drew comparisons between this clash and other high-profile celebrity interviews. Perry's controlled eruption was often contrasted with more dramatic or emotional confrontations, demonstrating a new approach to managing public scrutiny without compromising professionalism. The segment's reach extended beyond entertainment news. Lifestyle blogs, talk shows, and even academic discussions referenced the interview as a case study in media negotiation, illustrating how moments of tension can serve as teachable examples of communication, strategy, and boundary setting. Some viewers saw Perry's response as empowering, emphasizing the importance of asserting one's truth under pressure. This perception strengthened her connection with fans, who admired her ability to navigate a complex interview while maintaining integrity and authenticity. Critics, however, continued to debate whether the intensity of her response overshadowed the substance of the conversation. While some argued that it was a necessary assertion of boundaries, others felt it distracted from the content she had come to discuss, sparking a discussion about balance in media appearances. Media training experts praised Perry's timing and word choice. They noted that even in high-stakes, emotionally charged situations, she was able to remain strategic, ensuring that her message was conveyed clearly while avoiding unnecessary conflict. This demonstrated a level of skill that few live interviews capture. The tension between Perry and Hostin became a reference point for future discussions of celebrity interviews. Observers highlighted the ways in which questions are framed, boundaries are asserted, and the audience perceives emotion, using this segment as a touchstone for analyzing similar exchanges. Social media engagement continued for days, with hashtags referencing the clash trending across platforms. Fans and critics shared clips, memes, and analysis, making the segment one of the most discussed celebrity television moments of the year. Perry's team remained largely silent following the interview, allowing the moment to stand on its own. This choice further emphasized the authenticity of her response and underscored the careful control she maintains over her public image, reinforcing her professional reputation. Industry insiders noted that the segment could influence future interview practices. Hosts and producers may approach celebrity guests with greater sensitivity, anticipating moments of tension and crafting questions that respect boundaries while still eliciting meaningful discussion. Fans revisiting the interview months later continued to analyze it, noting subtle shifts in tone and posture that had been missed in the initial viewing. This ongoing attention highlighted the lasting impact of the exchange and its value as a cultural touchstone. The exchange also sparked commentary on the broader landscape of celebrity accountability. Perry's eruption was framed as a negotiation of public perception, illustrating how celebrities manage the delicate balance between authenticity and image management in the digital age. Analysts highlighted the importance of context in interpreting the eruption. While some viewed it as defensive, others saw it as an assertive defense of personal integrity. This duality fueled ongoing debate and deepened the conversation around media ethics and celebrity communication. The interaction became a reference for communication training, demonstrating how to express disagreement assertively without losing professionalism. Perry's measured intensity offered lessons in tone, pacing, and word choice, showing how strategic communication works in real-world high-pressure situations. Fans shared personal anecdotes connecting with Perry's stance, relating her assertiveness to their own experiences of being misunderstood or misrepresented. This connection reinforced the cultural resonance of the interview beyond the realm of entertainment news. In the long term, the segment became part of Katy Perry's public narrative, demonstrating a side of her rarely seen in interviews: unapologetic, assertive, and emotionally intelligent. The clash with Sunny Hostin would be remembered as a defining television moment, shaping perceptions of her as both a professional and a human being. The enduring discussion surrounding the interview illustrates how live television moments can resonate far beyond their airtime. Even months later, clips continue to circulate, proving that moments of authentic emotion, combined with strategic communication, leave a lasting impression on audiences. Media analysts continue to reference the segment when discussing live interview dynamics. The exchange became a teaching example of tension management, illustrating the intersection of celebrity, media scrutiny, and public perception. The episode demonstrated the complexity of live interviews, where every gesture and tone is scrutinized. Perry's ability to navigate both the challenge of a probing question and the expectations of a live audience highlighted her mastery of media interaction. Ultimately, the interview's significance lies in its intensity and authenticity. Katy Perry's eruption on The View captured the public imagination, becoming a talking point for both fans and critics and leaving an indelible mark on television history. The clash with Sunny Hostin remains a memorable cultural moment, exemplifying the delicate balance of celebrity interviews. Perry's measured yet firm responses serve as a model for handling scrutiny, asserting boundaries, and maintaining professionalism under pressure. In the weeks following the interview, the segment continued to dominate online discussions. Fans dissected every nuance of Perry's expressions, noting moments where her composure wavered slightly before she regained control. These subtle details became viral talking points, with viewers praising her ability to manage high-pressure moments without losing professionalism. Media commentators explored the psychological aspect of Perry's eruption, noting that her strategic pauses and carefully measured words were indicative of someone trained to handle scrutiny. Unlike explosive confrontations, this measured intensity demonstrated emotional intelligence and a mastery of live media dynamics, turning a tense moment into a showcase of skill. The clash also reignited debates about accountability and narrative framing in celebrity interviews. Some argued that Perry's responses were a justified correction of misleading perceptions, while others claimed they skirted full transparency. The polarity of opinions fueled ongoing conversations, ensuring the segment remained relevant well beyond its initial broadcast. Social media influencers quickly used the segment to create discussion content, analyzing both Perry's and Hostin's approach. Reaction videos, GIFs, and meme compilations spread across platforms, amplifying the moment's reach and making it a cultural talking point. Many credited the eruption with showing Perry's authentic side to fans. Analysts noted that the exchange highlighted generational differences in media communication. Perry's approach, blending assertiveness with composure, contrasted with older models of celebrity diplomacy, where deflection or avoidance was more common. The segment became a reference for modern strategies in managing media interactions. Fans praised the segment as empowering, especially for women in media. Perry's ability to stand her ground without aggression was seen as a model for asserting boundaries and demanding respect. This perspective framed the eruption not as conflict but as a moment of agency and control, resonating deeply with viewers. Critics who viewed the segment as overly defensive argued that live interviews require a delicate balance between personal boundaries and audience engagement. They suggested that while Perry handled the moment skillfully, the intensity risked overshadowing the original purpose of promoting her work. Industry insiders pointed out that moments like this often result from careful preparation. Perry likely anticipated probing questions and had rehearsed responses that allowed her to address concerns without escalating. This foresight is characteristic of high-profile celebrities who navigate constant media scrutiny. Hostin's handling of the situation also drew praise. Despite the intensity of Perry's responses, she maintained professionalism, demonstrating adaptability and respect. Their interplay highlighted the subtle dance of live interviews, where timing, tone, and presence are just as important as the questions themselves. The segment quickly became a template for analyzing celebrity interviews, illustrating how tension can arise and be managed. Communication experts used it as an example in workshops and media training sessions, demonstrating techniques for asserting boundaries while preserving public image and viewer engagement. Online discussions often compared Perry's eruption to other high-profile interviews. Her controlled intensity stood out against more overtly emotional or dramatic confrontations, reinforcing her reputation as both strategic and authentic in her public engagements. The interview also prompted discussions about audience expectations. Viewers often see conflict or drama, and moments of tension are amplified in social media culture. Perry's eruption provided exactly this, while also demonstrating that emotional authenticity can coexist with professional composure. Entertainment journalists noted that the segment's viral impact exceeded typical promotional content. Instead of focusing on her project alone, the interview became a cultural event, showing how celebrity appearances can be transformed into larger conversations about media, respect, and personal agency. Fans analyzed the subtle negotiation in the segment, noting how Perry asserted control without overt hostility. Her approach underscored the importance of communication strategy in public life, showing how timing, phrasing, and tone influence perception even more than the content of words. Over time, the moment became a reference in media analysis, Cited as an example of how celebrities navigate contentious topics, it demonstrated the power of a measured eruption, where emotion is channeled effectively to assert personal boundaries while maintaining professionalism. Discussions surrounding the segment also explored the role of live television in shaping public perception. Unlike scripted or edited appearances, live interactions reveal vulnerabilities and strengths simultaneously, offering viewers an unfiltered glimpse into celebrity behavior under pressure. The clash with Hostin highlighted the delicate balance between transparency and self-protection. Perry's careful navigation showed that asserting control does not require aggression, but instead relies on precise language, calm demeanor, and strategic pacing. Fans appreciated Perry's authenticity, noting that her reactions felt genuine rather than performative. This perception strengthened her connection with audiences, particularly those who value honesty and integrity in celebrity interactions. Critics acknowledged that while the eruption was intense, it did not devolve into personal attacks or unprofessional behavior. Perry maintained dignity throughout, which contributed to the segment's credibility and long-term impact. Ultimately, the interview became a defining moment in Katy Perry's public narrative. It showcased her ability to manage media scrutiny, assert personal boundaries, and communicate effectively under pressure, leaving a lasting impression on both fans and the broader entertainment industry. Media professionals now reference the segment as a textbook example of handling tense interviews. It demonstrates how a celebrity can turn a potentially adversarial situation into an opportunity to convey authority, authenticity, and professionalism simultaneously. The lasting relevance of the interview underscores how moments of controlled intensity can resonate far beyond their airtime. Perry's eruption became more than a fleeting controversy. It evolved into a cultural reference point for celebrity media dynamics. Scholars and commentators noted that the segment reflects broader societal conversations about women in the public eye. Perry's assertiveness challenged traditional expectations of compliance, making the eruption a meaningful example of modern celebrity empowerment. The segment's viral spread across digital platforms demonstrated the enduring power of live television. Clips continue to be shared, analyzed, and discussed, illustrating how authentic emotional responses, when managed strategically, can captivate audiences globally. Ultimately, Katy Perry's eruption on The View serves as a masterclass in media navigation. It combined assertiveness, composure, and strategic communication, providing lessons for celebrities, media professionals, and viewers alike, solidifying its place as a memorable television moment.